Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're doing alright. Hope you guys enjoying the weather. So today we will be carrying work on the Honda Civic. We've got quite a bit to do. As you guys saw in the last video, the lower sill, the B post and the C post as well, it does have quite a bit of damage, so we will be cutting the pieces out and we will be welding on a new panel. So hopefully by the end of this video we have the new panel fitted. Just to give you guys a quick update on the GTR, we have ordered the parts. So what's happened is that we called up the local dealership. They've told us those parts are available, but you have to go collect them from Manchester. So hopefully next week sometime we will be going down to pick up the parts for the GTR. Once we've got the parts, we'll have pretty much everything that we need for the GTR to get it complete to 100%. Anyway, that's enough about the GTR, guys. We will be cracking on with the work of the Honda Civic. We want to get as much done as we can. So without blabbering on too much, let's get on with it.
So we've got a donor piece right here. I've masked it off on the areas that we'll be actually cutting. Also, we don't need to drill out all these spots right here on the previous video, which I mentioned I was going to do that, but we don't need to do that because that's not damaged on our car right here. So the only part that we need to cut is right around here, so that saves us a lot of time. So there's only a few spots around this area right here and this area right here and a few spots underneath. What we'll have to do is get all this seam sealer off it to get down to our spots. Once that's done, we've got a few spots on the side and one right here on the hinge. So once we got that piece off, what we'll be doing is I've marked up, we were going to actually cut this right here and cut that piece, but we've got a bit of a change of plan. So what we're going to be doing is getting that piece off, putting on the body, then just cutting it straight, so that way it saves us time as in cutting this then cutting it again twice. So we just need to do one cut on it once that piece is right. So I'm going to carry on and start drilling all them spots out and cutting it. So what we're using is this mini angle grinder. So it's a really good tool. You could get to this edge right here. Normally with the normal angle grinder, the disc is so big it actually cuts into the next panel. So with this it's sort of like tiny and it gets into the gap without damaging the next piece. So we'll carry on and start drilling all that out and cutting it all out. So I've got my piece right off now, ready to go on. So what we're going to be doing is just placing it on here. But before we do that, obviously we'll need leveling off because it is quite hard. So we'll level it off, get this piece right on, clamp it down. There's two bolts right here for the hinge. We'll get that bolted in, clamp it down in a few areas. Once it's sat down flush, we'll just cut it nice. Once that's done, we'll get that piece off and start drilling all the way through and start getting it all out. So yeah guys, I'm just carry on, start drilling it all out and getting that piece out. So we have the scrap piece off right there and a new piece right here. We can start working on the inner panel. Before we actually start putting that piece on and start welding it up, we got a bit of damage right here where it's slightly caved in. We'll get the panel beater to sort that out, and it's shaped up really well. So yeah. Also the plan was to drill out the spot welds, but we actually ran out of spot weld drill bits because we used like 1,000 bits on the GTR. But that's not an issue. We used the Dynafile and just went over all the spots. So that's all off now. So we're going to start by repairing that, getting our piece on and start cutting it. So we'll have a piece right on top and just cut it straight through as a double layer. And when we put a piece right on, once we got the scrap piece off, we'll have a nice butt joint and it just needs spotting, then just seaming up. So we'll just repair that first, then we'll take things further. So we got a new panel on there now and clamped it all down. So I've also taped it down where we're going to be actually making our cuts, just so we get straight cuts. It's always good to mask it all up where you're going to be cutting. So that's all ready. So I'm going to be using the big grinder to cut all the way down because it's double skin we're going to be cutting into. It'll be easier to use the big grinder. Then when we get around to the edge right here, we'll get the little air grinder out. I'm going to use that just so we don't cut into the next piece inside. So I'm going to carry on and start cutting all them pieces out. All our cuts have been done now, so that piece is literally ready to go on. All you gotta do is just clean down all these welds, just linish them down, level them off, so when you put that piece on, it fits there nice and flush. We've also got the pieces off, so that's pretty much ready. This piece right here that we've panel beated out has taken shape really well. So yeah guys, I'm just gonna quickly give it a good clean and start getting that piece on. We'll tack it in a few different areas, then we'll start putting everything on. So we got that panel placed right there. I've just locked it down with a few clamps. What we'll be doing is we'll spot in a few different areas, so that's secured down, obviously lined up before we do that. Then what we'll do is get the doors on it, make sure that piece lines up as it should. Then we start placing all the welds in the areas where it needs to be welded down to. But before we actually start getting the doors on and all sorts, I'm just going to quickly panel beat this area right here. I've got the dent puller out, so we use that tool to get the dents out right there. All we got to do now is just panel beat all that out. So I'm going to carry on and just do that. Once that's done, we can start getting both doors on the skirts. Make sure that lines up properly. So the lock's been pulled out now and it's all been aligned up. Obviously you will need to find final alignment to be done once that door's on. But for now, it's all been pulled out, it's all been leveled up as well. So all you gotta do is just get the door on there. The bottom piece, we've just tacked it in a few different areas just to align it up, so when we put the doors on, it ain't gonna move. So that's all been done. All you gotta do now is get the hinges on there. The door weather seals need to go on both sides. We'll get the doors on there and see how it all fits up. Once we're happy with it, we can start welding up all the areas that we've missed out. I've got the rear door right here and the front door is on this side right there. Everything's already on there. You got the seals on the inside as well, so that should help us. Whereas sometimes you buy these second-hand parts, it's totally stripped down, you don't get no seals, no nothing on it without the glass as well. So yeah guys, without waffling on too much, let's get them doors on, and as well as the doors we'll get the skirt on as well and see how it all looks. So me and the panel beat have been working on the door for quite some time now, and we just got the alignment right on the both doors and our skirt as well. So a lot of that's been done off camera. We had to get that tire off, as well as that the arch liner as well. We just pushed it back to get to the inside hinges so you could adjust them right there. So basically when we put the door on, there's barely any gap between the door and the wing. So we sorted that out, so that's all good now. Because in the impact, you can see the door right there. It's actually got hit. It's actually pushed the door forward. So that's all been done now. As well as that, the rear door's all been done. So you can see right here, everything shuts as it should, nice and smooth. The gap's literally perfect around here and around the arch as well. You see right there. We've been getting measurements using our gap gauges right here from the other side, so everything's all in spec. We've got measurements from this side down here and the rear side as well, so that's all been done. So everything's all in spec. I'm happy with the way that's actually turned out. So that this bit right here needs to get welded up to get the shape back, because it's not really in shape. When we bought this lower sill, the car was actually damaged on this side, so this actually got bent, which was a bit of a bugger. But we'll straighten that out. One thing is I'll get the doors off, and once it's all been welded up, because it's quite flimsy, once that's all been welded up, then we can just panel beat that out into shape. So that's not really a big issue. The main thing we need to do now is start welding up that inner panel right there, as it is just tacked up. Just to make sure the alignment is right. Another thing is I've spotted on the doors, there's 2 dents. Well, on this door there's 2 dents, 3 sorry, 1, 2 and 3. So I've just marked it up, so when it comes to actually painting the doors, before it goes for paint, we'll repair them dents up. The front door's perfect, there's no damage on it whatsoever. So the best thing to do when you're looking for dents or anything is just look at your door or any panel you got on an angle, and if it dips in, that's where you know you've got a problem. I'm not sure if it'll pick you up on camera. There is definitely a dent there. Well, you can see this one right away. So what we'll do is we'll get both doors off, we'll get that skirt off and start welding up that inner panel. So I've taken both those off, as well as that, the lower skirt as well. So that's all been done. You can see right here, I've just tacked it. On our joints, on our butt joints right here, what we're going to be doing is the same thing, just tacking it. Because what happens if you do a full seam, the metal tends to go out of shape. So we don't really want to do that because we want a nice flush finish on there. So I'm just going to tack it all the way through. And when it gets to about that much of a gap, we just seam that up. So I'm going to carry on, get the weld right, and start welding all this section up. So the lower sill's all been welded up now, so that's the welding's complete on that section. Also, if you come right around here, you can see that inner arch has been welded up. All that needs now is just sort of linishing down. I have started on the linishing process, but I've actually run out of pads. So what I'll do is, it is getting quite late, so I won't be able to get any now, so I'll get some in the morning.
So guys, Zia and the panel beater have done quite a lot of work today. They've removed all the panels. The old panel that was here, that was all damaged, they've cut that out. They've got a new one in, they've welded it on as well. Even the inside arch has been welded on, so everything is coming out nice. The brackets have been aligned as well, so now it's just a matter of linishing down all the welds and getting a bit of filler on there as well to get it nice and smooth, and getting it prepped for paint. So hopefully in the next video we'll have this car ready for paint or in paint, depending on how much work gets done. So we are going to end the video there, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you guys want to support the channel, we do have a lot of merchandise on teesprings.com/performance-rebuild, so the link is down in the description, so guys, go check it out if you want to support the channel. And if you don't follow us already on Instagram, make sure you do this at Performance Rebuild, and we'll see you guys in the next video.